and welcome to my Horadric Strongroom guide, where we're going to optimize your efficiency in order to get as many Horadric attunement and ultimately as much loot from the end chest as possible. In order to do that, I'm going to tell you which tests you should prioritize at the beginning and which tests you should avoid like fire. This way you'll be able to improve your score in the Horadric Strongroom farms. My name is Sliver, and this is how to farm Horadric Strongrooms in Diablo 4 Season 9. Before we talk about the pillars, we have to mention the basic loop of Horadric Strongrooms, which many people don't know. Inside Horadric Strongrooms, we have 2 points of interest. First of all, we have the pillars themselves, which you can click on, and when you click on them, a circle appears and you have to kill monsters inside the circle, and if you kill enough monsters, this will activate the pillars and they will grant you a 15-second buff of increasing the attunement you gain for killing any monster. Collecting Horadric attunement is what fills up the bar on the right side of the screen while you are inside the Horadric Strongroom. So you will want to have as much Horadric attunement as possible, because then you'll be able to finish the progress bar as fast as possible. The other point of interest inside Horadric Strongrooms are the shrines. When you click on a shrine, then a wave of monsters will spawn near you and you'll be able to kill them for Horadric attunement. So basically, without any pillar modification, the following is what you should do in a Horadric Strongroom, and this is what I like to call the basic loop of Strongrooms. You want to click on a pillar, kill all the mobs around it until it gets activated and gives you the buff of getting extra amounts of Horadric attunement. Then move to a shrine, click on the shrine, and this will spawn the mobs around you, and killing them will grant you Horadric attunement, an extra amount because you ideally still have the buff from the pillars. And this is what you have to repeat until you reach the maxed out Horadric attunement bar. So activate pillar, go to shrine, spawn mobs, kill them, and repeat. It's as simple as that. This is the best way of farming Horadric attunement if nothing is modifying the playing field. However, in the majority of the situations, something is modifying the playing field. And now we have to talk about the actual tests that you have to choose between at the beginning of the Strongroom. In Torment difficulties, you have to choose 3 of these tests, and I'm going to create a tier list for these tests, rating their usefulness. S tier tests will be the ones that yield a lot of extra Horadric attunement, and you almost always have to pick them. A tier tests will be nice additions to your run. D tier tests will barely benefit your run, and F tier tests might even harm it. In general, before we go into the actual tier list, I would like to say that the best tests are the ones that barely modify the core gameplay loop that I mentioned before. And now let's go with the S tier. Immediately 2 tests come to mind when talking about the S tier. These are the Test of Weight and Test of Doom. Both of them grant a whopping 25% increased Horadric attunement, and in both cases you have to carry an idol with you. In case of the Test of Weight, the idol drops when you evade, so essentially you cannot evade the whole run, and in case of the Test of Doom, the idol drops when you use a potion. So essentially you cannot use a potion if you want to maintain this bug. If your character is strong enough, then these tests and idols will substantially increase the pace at which you get Horadric attunement and lower your time in the Horadric Strongroom. The Test of Might will also belong to the S tier category. This will summon a boss when you reach tier 3 on the Horadric attunement bar, and this boss will be the Mount of Osteroth. And the reason this is S tier is that you get a lot of attunement if you can kill the boss, and you don't really have to actually focus the boss if it follows you around and it will just die to your AoE passively. And with this done, we're going to move to A tier. I recommend picking up these tests, but not at the expense of S tier tests. So let's go. First of all, we have the test of restlessness. This makes approaching pillars attract additional monsters, and you can kill these monsters for extra Horadric attunement. Test of the unsettled. This will cause pillar events that you just completed, attracting additional ambushes. This is very useful because you can use those monsters for bonus Horadric attunement, because remember, when you complete a pillar, you will have a buff on you that increases the attunement gained. Next A tier test is the test of frenzy. This will cause shrines that you activate attract additional monsters, which once again can be used for more attunement. And with this, we can move down to the D tier. For D tier tests, I do not recommend picking them unless you run out of all the other possible alternatives, including S tier, A tier, or other tests that I haven't mentioned. For starters, anything that gives you swiftness motes, I would immediately put to D tier. Swiftness motes increase your speed, however, I don't believe this is the real reason why you would fail in Horadric Strongrooms, rather than the slow killing speed or the lack of monsters. So anything that gives you swiftness motes is immediately D tier, including the test of resistance, the test of movement, the test of speed, or the test of celerity. Similarly, the test of efficiency also belongs to the D category, simply because it doesn't do enough. It makes the pillar ritual 25% faster and causes you to take damage when you are near pillars, which essentially reduces the time you have to waste by killing enemies near pillars. However, this 25% time is not very much, and I wouldn't see a huge benefit in terms of Horadric attunement because of picking test of efficiency. And next, all we have left is the F tier, where the meme picks go. The first of these meme picks is the test of wandering, where you have to run around the arena like an idiot trying to catch these purple or orange or whatever color they are wisps, and when you catch them you get a few Horadric attunement. The problem with this test is that it takes away from the original loop of Horadric strongholds, and if you pick it and go around chasing wisps, you can actually hurt your efficiency in terms of Horadric attunement. Speaking of lack of efficiency, the test of lure also belongs to the F category, simply because it makes you waste time by having to guide these mummies into pillars for a really small amount of reward. And that's it, we are done with the tier list. I know that I haven't mentioned several of the tests. I think those belong between the D and A category, so if you have an option to pick those up, you can, just not over a tier S or tier A category test. Now, of course, I have to mention that these tier lists depend on your character, so if you have a weak character, then some of the S tier things might hurt you, and if you're playing, let's say, an Evade Spiritborn, then it might not be a good idea to pick the test where you cannot evade, and so on and so on. But in general, I believe that this is my tier list. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with the items that I placed, and thank you for watching. See you guys next time.